Border towns are seeing extra layers of security being put up between the US and Mexico as the federal and state law enforcement prepare for an influx of migrants. The removal of Title 42 under the Biden administration will see an increased rate of drug trafficking, crime and theft across the United States, as close to 3 million illegal immigrants have already crossed the border.
Here in El Paso, the National Guard put up an extra barrier of fencing with razor wire along the border, which DPS says is helping for now, but you still see a bunch of man-made holes in border fencing across the city. And in parts of downtown El Paso, it's clear that thousands of migrants are crossing over daily with nowhere to go. Over in Eagle Pass, the National Guard put up shipping containers along the border with razor wire on top to help keep people from crossing over. DPS also confirms about 10 shipping containers were put up along the end of the border in El Paso. While the city opened up the convention center downtown for more shelter space for migrants, countless people who cross the border are still sleeping on the street. Even though these migrants are here illegally, DPS says they still do everything they can to make sure these people stay safe and healthy. It's not just adult migrants in this situation. There's dozens of small children and babies with their families in the streets. A lot of them have American Red Cross blankets and receive some bags of food, but they don't have much else. Roxana Prada came across the border with her husband and 3 little girls to escape the armed conflict in Colombia. She says her family received threats since her mother is a social leader there.
There's still family of mine in Colombia who are at risk. The idea is, how can we help them so that they can find it here safe, so to speak? And obviously, this is where a good future starts for my daughters. Because of this conflict, we have to be fleeing from one side to the other, and they are always with us.
Prada tells me she believes the people persecuting her in Colombia have contacts in Mexico, so she wants to try and get farther away from the border. She says she is not going to give up and hopes the U.S. thoroughly looks at her case.